I got a call. I got a call and a letter from John Gordon. Said, we'd like you to play this part. And I'll send you a script. I said, go ahead, send the script. And then went up to Kevin's house to meet Kevin, and he said the same thing. And I said, well, and we chatted about it. And you can't help but like Kevin. Immediately, you know. He's one of the few cats that leaves his ego at home. You know, doesn't bring any crap to work. I hate guys that bring their crap to work. You know, everybody's got problems, you know. But he's fantastic. John's very sweet. So I said, well, yeah. Discussed how I'd play him. I said, I see him, I guess, you know. He asked me if I could do him from Texas. For some reason, he puts this in the South. I know that it's loosely based on Phelps, but, I mean, I could do Phelps, but he's just so boring. I mean, he's just boring. It's not what he says, you know, he's a fanatic and all of that, you know, but it depends on how you play him. I mean, Jimmy Swaggart is at least entertaining. You know, he's a goofball, but entertaining, and plays good piano. You know, that's the only. I used to tune in on Sunday mornings. If he wasn't playing piano, I'd just go on. But he's playing piano, I'd watch it. You know.
Jerry Lewis is his cousin, I believe.
He taught Jerry everything he knows about piano, and I think he's a better piano player than Jerry. Jerry plays a certain, but hell, he can play blues, stride, anything. Swaggart should have. If he'd have followed that line instead of the preaching line, he'd probably been all right. I mean, you know, it wouldn't have been in the papers, but his little escapade, that's for sure. The old saying is you get 3 musicians in the same room, it's a misdemeanor. So he'd have been all right there, but it gets a little harsh. But Phelps is just a bloody, it's like watching paint dry. My wife asked if I wanted to see him. I said, sure, put him on. And I said, start going to sleep. I said, no. No matter what he says, you know, it's just boring. Boring. So this fellow I saw as a charismatic, a variety of shadings and attitudes, so couldn't do Phelps. Would have just dulled everybody out.
I never saw the hand of God so clearly in all my born days. And the Lord's bore witness to this apostasy.
No, I didn't think there. You know, this fellow's a true believer that I'm playing. He's a true believer. Whether you sympathize with his motivation and actions, you know, I certainly hope not. But certain things about him, he's very good with his children. I don't think he laid a hand on any of his children. When I talked to Kevin, I said he probably loved his grandfather. His father was probably a Lutheran, very strict. I mean, from Luther, strict. But no, I don't think the Phelps there. If I did his persona, and that, and this leads in, as you know, we don't tell the story, but this leads into something else much stronger than just, you know, merely protesting homosexuality or anything else. I mean, the actions and events. That might be different. You know, that would be different, but I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to say, that's not my father, he wouldn't do that. You know, and that'll be the extent of it. I don't think there's anything else to.
Cheyenne, you might take me children out now for the lessons, because it's going to get grown up in here.
I think his grandfather was the kind of guy that, when he does him, he does him. You know, I mean, he does him, his grandfather, so he's doing, not his father. His father's a bit more strict, but his grandfather was probably fun. That happens in a lot of families. I mean, children tend to lean towards their grandfather because they're spoiled or they have more fun with them, you know. I think that's probably where it comes from. And like I said to Kevin, I mean, he's the kind of guy that probably walked through the kitchen, lifted his leg and flatulated, you know, and as a kid he probably loved that, you know, it just broke him up. His father would never do that. So he leans towards, in his sense, he leans towards his grandfather in persona.
Homosexuals shouldn't be tolerated, let alone celebrated. They
should be running out.
You know why Hitler didn't drink? Said it made him mean.
And he closes the book on this wicked war. Praise his name. So come on. Come on, G-man. G for godless. G for government.
Attitudes, certain off-the-wall humor. You know, it's like I said to John one day, I mean, sure, Hitler told a funny joke at least once, you know. So he has a humor, but he loves his humor. I don't know if anybody else does, but, and he loves his children. And he's a true believer in whatever he believes in. He's honest about it. It's not made up. It's not false. You know, it's not a false prophet. A lot of problems and a fanatic, and if and when they catch him, should never be let out. But if you play him as the black hat, and Kevin and I discussed that, you say, oh, there's your villain, and we'll get him. That's it. I mean, like an old Gene Autry movie, you know. You know the Gene Autry story?
Shoot,
Guy writes up and he says, Gene, while he's gone, them boys from the Thompson Valley come over, cut the wire, and took your two best deers, 4 mile cows, run over them ducks on the way out and hurt your dog real bad. Old lady Johnson saw felt down on her hip. She said, one of them said they're going to set fire to the barn. What are you going to do about it? He said, well, we'd have to hunt them hombres down, but first I'm going to sing a little song for you. Now, this is for people 40 and older, I'm sure.
God loves you. God loves everybody. But a God that drowned the entire world, exception knowing his flock, sound like a God that loves you?
Adam, her assistant, said, well, I'll mark him. And he marked different areas. So we needed that because they were shooting something else and we were going in the next day to shoot. So rather than waste time rehearsing, have that down. And then, yeah, he's you know, I mean, bless his heart, he has no storyboard. And that's really painful. So you meet a director, you can do a picture and he has a storyboard. It's immediately you say, well, what the hell is that? You know. But he has such respect for the actors. And this Klein, David Klein, the cameraman, Jesus, he's a rare bird. He actually is one of the few cameramen that are sensitive to actors. You know, listens to actors. Because when you get down to it, everything is done, set up, and then you're supposed to perform. And without their help, I'm always helpful to cameramen. I mean, camera operators, focus people all like me because
nice cut. That was nice. I want to see that.
Improving is a funny thing. I don't know but a handful of actors that can do it. And I've really become fearful of an actor who, because most people are playing them, like improv comes out of an individual's persona for the most part, unless you're really thinking. Because if you improv a certain line, it doesn't fit the character. What the hell are you doing, you know? Just being cute. So improving is not the thing. If I want to say something, I'll say to Kevin, I'll mention to Kevin, you know, to see, I mean, he's the writer, you know, so to see if it works. It's only right. All the rest is, you know. There's an old lady up in Ohio one time was an actress. She said, do you know what a method actor is? I said, no. She said, well, that's a fellow that stands in the line in the rain, you see, to get some soup, and everybody's in line, and he wets his pants, and he feels very warm, but nobody else does. It's a very funny line of it. Method acting.
Burn in hell, cocksucker.
Horror begins from within, and you cannot see it sometimes. I was talking with Jean Renoir, who was a great director one day, and they were doing the story of the Boston Strangler, who confessed that he didn't know why. But Hollywood does. You know, so they're going to make the picture anyway, no matter, and they'll say he did it because. But a lot of times you don't know. I mean, a fellow in France killed his wife one day because he had a bad cup of coffee. Now, it wasn't the coffee. Obviously, it's something very deep. It starts with it, and then the coffee's the last straw. It becomes angry over it, and violence, bang. So this kind of horror is the worst kind. The other isn't obvious, you know, the other kind of pictures you're talking about are very obvious. Terrible things you mustn't do. But this starts from within. It comes, the reasons are understood through his beliefs. And so that's horrible enough, you know. I mean, it's like Hitler, you know, one day in the bunker, he's boom, dropping the bombs, and he's got the stick he's drawing. He says, so the Luftwaffe will, boom, you know, Goering, you have to, and boom, you know, and dirt and crap all over him, and he says, next time, no more Mr. Nice Guy. So, you know, if you see through the facades of a lot of people, they seem to be, but there's horror in all of us. We're capable. All of us are capable. I think that's the horrific thing. Everyone, like Renoir said, everyone has their reasons, and that seems to be the conflict of the world. Everyone has their reasons to do whatever they do, and it's a horrific thought. So I like about Kevin. He sits back, listens, great ears, and most of them don't have that. Cut, print, move it along, and you turn to the actor and say, how are you? Was you all right? How did you like me? But Kevin will let you know, you know. He'll let you know.
Let us out of here! We didn't do anything! Let us the fuck out of here!
And everybody has an opinion, and everybody has a rectum. I don't know that people are qualified, you know, to critique. Most people I know. George Bernard Shaw said a critic was a fellow that knew how to get there, he just didn't know how to drive the car. So if Kevin uses real dialogue out of life, people talk, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You can go over the top. I don't know. You know, that's up to him how he edits and shoots his picture. But, you know, if they can find controversy, you have people that are just pedantic idiots. I mean, they will look and say, you know, she had a scarf in the first act. I never saw what happened to her. You know, oh, Christ almighty. She left it in the trailer or gave it to Adelaide. I don't know. You know, it's the story. So, controversy. I suppose there would be some defending the Christian religion, which has nothing to do with this. Nothing. It has nothing. It's a fanatic. And there'll be people that'll be bothered by the vulgarity, but those are the people that only go see Mary Poppins. You know, there are other kinds of films. There are realistic films. I hate to use that word anymore because they have real people as if all people aren't real. It's just nonsense. You know. Reality shows, they call them. Half-baked, you know, half-rehearsed nonsense written by guys that have never been on the island. You know. They camped out in their backyard one time with a kid and then went down to the CPA's office. I mean, it was worth the money. That was entertaining. I mean, to be entertaining, there are all sorts of people in life, different lifestyle genres. They love that word. It only means style. People got tired of saying style, so they robbed from the French, but that's probably all. You can be entertained in a picture that has that's messageless or has a message. I think it's up to the director and actor to make it work. And God Almighty, we don't want to talk about that. I'm doing the best I know how. But anyway, that's probably what I would say. To be entertained, worth the money.
That's refreshing, actually.
Really good cast. I think all conscientious. Great crew. And I met John Goodwin yesterday, actually, it was the first time. And a sweet guy, and he has a hell of a presence. Got a great face. And I'd like to see him in dramas. You know, he's proved himself as comedic, very funny. But he has a presence, a very strong presence. I think it was good casting on Kevin's part. Very good. And I've met all the cast, yeah. I think I've met all of them. Worked with some of them. And they all seem to jump in. Because you do jump in here. You know, Kevin's very, very smart in the way he does things. I think. And hire me again.